Good afternoon and welcome to our session. I'm Nicola Marshall and I'm the People Director at Welcome Break. And I'm going to kick off our session this afternoon just by explaining a bit to you about who Welcome Break are and what we do, because we're a bit of a hidden secret on the motorways. So we were founded in 1959 and we're the UK's second largest independent motorway services operator. We operate 27 sites across 38 sides of the motorway, up and down the UK from Fleet and Membury towards the southwest, into Wales, all the way up into Abington and Gretna in Scotland. We have 5,500 team members, and I can hear you all saying, 5,500 team members to clean the toilets. Really? But we're not. We're a bit of a hidden business, and we're one of the UK's largest franchisee operators. We have £650 million turnover annually, and part of that is we make 17 million cups of coffee in Starbucks every single year. We attract 85 million motorway customers into our services, of which 92% of them come to use the toilet. We're a highly regulated business and we're governed by the Highways Agency. So we're open 24/7, 365 days a year to provide a rest break to weary motorists. So, who are we and what do we do? So as the largest UK franchise operator, I'd like to introduce you to some of my team. We operate 18 different high street brands in our main amenity building. We have 358 separate business units, which includes 20 separate Starbucks drive-thrus. We are leading the electric vehicle revolution. So we have 19 separate Tesla supercharger stations and 70 Ecotricity charging bays. We have 20 days-in hotels, 9 Ramada hotels. We support adults with learning disabilities on the road by having changing places, changing rooms in 9 of our sites, which is award-winning. 33 Shell petrol forecourts and 6 BP forecourts. As you can imagine, my job's quite complicated. I have to know each and every single one of these brands inside out and work with our brand partners every single day to make sure that the customer offering is as you would expect if they were operating it themselves. Thank you, team. So we are many people, one team. Everybody that works in a Welcome Break works for Welcome Break, they just wear a different uniform. We have a really, really strong culture of performance delivery. And as of our results pending, we've actually had 13 years of consecutive growth, not 12. We're a values-orientated business, and we talk every day about we care, we are a team, and we deliver. We create unexpectedly human experiences for our teams and our customers alike. So our purpose as an organisation, and everybody's individual purpose, which we've talked a lot about today, is to create unexpectedly human experiences for people on the move, delivered with care and with passion every single day. And our team live and breathe our 3 values. But we are still on a journey with this. Back in November 2018, we were taken over by another business, so we're going to see some change to this over the next few months. And we have an extra brand, and the brand that we didn't see a uniform today. Pudsey wasn't allowed to play today, but Children in Need are what we would refer to as our 19th brand. In the last 10 or so years, we've raised over £5 million for Children in Need. And this lives and breathes part of our team every single day. So what was our challenge as a business and why was this important? We're 5,500 team members with a very triangular pyramid in terms of the way that our workforce is made up. About 90% of our team is paid at or around national minimum or national living wage. So in 2016, in January 2016, when we ran our annual employment survey, our teams told us that we weren't doing enough to show them that we care. Which hurt. This is one of our values. So as a HR team, that really hit home, that the team didn't feel that we were doing enough for them. So some wise person off the back of this said, we don't have a recruitment problem. We recruit 2,500 people a year. We don't have a recruitment problem, we have a retention challenge. We've just got to do more to keep them. So I'm going to hand you over to Rachel at this point, and Rachel's going to tell you what we did.
Thank you. So obviously, initially, following the feedback, we needed to go in and get more details about what it was that people didn't feel engaged with Welcome Break. So we involved our teams by holding fishbowl meetings. The fishbowl meetings, we had 3 meetings, one at our head office and 2 in the regions, and we invited over 300 people, 300 volunteers. So we asked for volunteers that wanted to make life at Welcome Break better. We had 300 people that came to those meetings. They were facilitated by our team, but led by the team members who wanted to come and speak to us. And we just really gave them several questions and let them answer. We just sat back and listened. So, what do you get now when you work for Welcome Break? What do you think of the current benefits? How can we improve life at Welcome Break? So what can we do better? And then, without any boundaries, without giving them an open pot of money at this point, what additional benefits could we provide to you to make life better at Welcome Break? Remembering that they're wearing all those different uniforms, so they might see themselves as working for Burger King or KFC. So this was bringing it back and saying, you work for Welcome Break, so what is it we can give you that will make life better? The response was almost unanimous from all of those streams, both team members from the sites and also our Vantage Court head office. We like our current benefits, but please communicate them better. People don't know enough about what they do get, so the message isn't out there. And an example that hit me straight away was a team member sitting in the northern region saying, well, apart from getting paid, I don't get anything else. And another team member going, yes, you do. You get this My Welcome Break benefits. And she opened the app and sat next to the lady who'd been with us for 5 years but didn't know any of our benefits. And she showed her the benefits. And a week later, the lady rang me up and said, just saved £30, took my family to the cinema, and we went out for a meal afterwards. How did I not know about this for all of those years? They wanted us to add benefits to help with our wellness, the whole person. Obviously, mental health is an issue in all companies at the moment, and they were sort of saying, you give us all these cash benefits, cash back and discounts, but actually we don't get anything about healthy eating or all of the different things. And our teams get a very highly subsidised meal allowance. So we're giving them up to 70% off their meal every day, 50% in some brands, but that's 70% off Burger King and KFC. So they were saying, actually, by working for us, it's quite difficult to eat healthily and think healthily. So start thinking about me as a whole person. And then and they wanted that to be about health, but the biggest message that came out of it was around finance. Help me with my finances. You don't do a loan process at Welcome Break, and sometimes I just need money to go and get my car mended, because I need my car to get into work, because when you're on the motorways, there's no public transport that will bring you and drop you off at work. And then the other thing, make the career path simpler. We don't understand the career path, and we want it to be more accessible to everyone. So they were the responses we got from the team. So we went away and we hatched a plan. A bit corny, but we hatched a plan. So the people team got together and we thought about the sort of things that we could do to fill the gaps that our team members were talking about. And we came up with our not benefit strategy, not well-being strategy, but we called it our attraction and retention strategy. So for us, it was about attracting people, but then keeping them once we'd employed them. All underpinned by safety. Of course, if people don't feel safe at work, then they're not going to be interested in any of the other things. So safety was the underpinning part of everything on our attraction and retention strategy. But we had things like social, and that was about having strong relationships. So if you were in Deborah's session earlier, she talked about a lot about relationships at work, but also at home. So giving people that ability to access support for help at home as well. Career, how I occupy my time. I like and enjoy what I do every day at work. And that wasn't just about saying, it's all about becoming a manager, because some of our team members don't want to become managers. They just want to have a career path that takes them to give them more responsibility. Finance was about effectively managing my economic life. Health, I have good health and energy to get things done on a daily basis. We all know if you're not feeling 100%, you're not going to be as productive as you are if you do feel 100%. So for that was really important. And then community, which we did quite well anyway, because that was about the whole children in need and moving towards that. I have a sense of engagement within the area where I live and work. From that, we then created the roadmap. And everything that is highlighted were things that we already did. So we already did, but we thought we probably need to talk about them more, tell people they're there. So communication, we already did an annual survey, and this was related to what we were now improving our benefits. Working relationships. One thing we didn't have was a handbook and a policy. And I know some people go, oh, handbooks, they're so old school and, we're going to get rid of the handbook. To us, the handbook was about telling the team members what our promises to them were. One of the promises we had was that their roster would be up 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks in advance of their working shift. And that didn't always happen, but a team member hadn't got that written down anywhere. So the handbook for us was about, here's your handbook, these are the promises we make to you, and therefore you can go back to these and say, my roster's not up, and it's in the pink handbook, so therefore that's a promise you've made to me. Promise is about our pay structure. We put our pay structure into there. So every team member could see how they started on a rate, they moved up a rate after 90 days, and then moved on. The career path and career development we had, they were, when we looked at it, quite confusing. There was a big gap between what a team member came in at to being the next level, which was a management position. So that's a big gap when you're just starting and you might be 18 or 19. Do I really want to be a manager? But I want to progress my career. So we looked at adding levels in. So we brought in something called the specialist role. So in each unit we have a team member specialist role, and it depends on the brand. Bread specialist in Subway, obviously. You need somebody to make the bread right, because if the bread's not right, the Subway product's not going to be right. Harry Ramsden's had a fish specialist, because it's all about the fish. News and mag specialist in WH Smith's. We built these new roles in, which did get paid more money, but we trained people to move on. And some of those people then went, actually, I don't mind this extra responsibility. I'd quite like to go on to the team member specialist shift runner now. So we built those steps into becoming management of the future. Career development, the learning and development team implemented a whole new set of workbooks and sessions in order to help people move into their first leadership roles. Incentives and bonuses and pay structures were completely separate. So we built in, how do we pay people more than national living wage or national minimum wage? That was really important to us. So these steps for specialists was about moving people up the pay bandings. Loans and savings, we worked with, we had a relationship with Neighbour. We started a relationship with Neighbour, and they just took all that worry off us. We didn't have to relate it to payroll, where you're thinking, actually, there's a whole load of work on our payrolls teams in order to do those loans and things. So we worked with Neighbour. We wanted to relaunch My Welcome Break because of the message in there that was, you give it us, but actually only 50%, 60% of our people use it. So we implemented on the health line the Wellness Hub, which you've probably seen outside, in terms of helping people come up with good, healthy moving, eating, the mindfulness things, and Cycle to Work, which has been huge for us. Under that as well, we looked at mental health, and we're currently running a trial for mental health first aiders, and we have placed them into one site, and this year we'll plan to move that to the next level. And then environment was just around team rooms, workspace, and you know, it's hard work working in a Burger King when you're serving that many customers and there's a queue out of the door every single day during the summer. You never see the end of the queue. So give somebody a nice team room where they can go and sit and relax and forget about the queues and the people, with maybe a TV, but a PlayStation where they can completely get away from the customer, all done at really low cost. And that was the big thing. My challenge from Nicola was, you need to do all of this, but don't spend too much money, as is usual. And you go, okay, all right, there's a lot of things to do, but not spend too much money. But that's what we had to do. Because if I'd have gone and said, this is going to cost you £50,000, it'd have been the big, no, we can't do that. So it was all of those things. The launch. It's a year ago, as next week, I think. Probably the most stressful day of my career so far in Welcome Break, because we had 500 line managers and support team members coming into our venue. And we did it on our quarter brief day, but we didn't have part of the quarter brief. They said, oh, do it during lunchtime, Rachel. Great. So we had 6 suppliers. We also had a Rewarding Careers, where we launched all of our career information, and social and community here, which was around children in need, but also launching the handbook. We made it a bit fun, so we had relaxation chairs on the mindfulness part, and we had a smoothie bike on the health part, and we basically launched it. We pinched a Reward Gateway idea in terms of a bingo card, so we ensured that everybody wanted to visit every stall. Because doing it at lunchtime, they just wanted to eat. They didn't want to go and see all these stores. So we gave them a bingo card. We said, if you get a stamp from every single one of the stalls, you'll be in a competition. And that competition was for an Apple Watch, which we then drew out, and one of the managers won an Apple Watch. Lots of activities, lots of things to do, all in 1 hour while they were having lunch. But we actually met our objective. We had all 500 people go and speak to every single one of the new suppliers and speak to them directly. So the Cycle to Work stall were talking to team members about what they could offer them, or talking to the managers about what they could offer them, on the thought then that they were taking all this information back to their own team members. I'm going to hand back to Nicola, and she'll tell you what our results have been.
So, of course, we couldn't do this for no cost, but the direction that I had from our board was, Nicola, you need to do this as cheaply as possible. We don't have any more money to put into the resources that you already have available, so whatever you can do, you need to do it, but we also need to see some results off the back of it. So we had a small pot of money to play with, but not a great deal. So what did we do, and how did we affect it? So in our social elements, we ensured that our rosters were published 3 weeks in advance, consistently across every single one of our 358 units. And we gave the team the opportunity, by publishing it in the handbook, that they could expect this, that if they didn't get it, they could complain to us, and we would do something about it. 1,000 new team members have received our new onboarding packs, which include separate booklets broken down really easily around what our culture is and who we are, our career, and our team handbook, with some of our most basic and needed policies in that the team want to know. We have appointed, in the last 12 months, 292 brand specialists, and 70% of our roles at management level have been filled via an internal promotion. 57 people following a leadership workshop have been appointed into a more senior position than they were, and a further 258 people are currently enrolled, working towards their next level of role with us currently. 566 team members have taken financial advice from Neighbour. Now, this is really important, again, from a national minimum wage, national living wage employer. This stopped our team on a weekly basis going to a loan shark or a payday loan. So Neighbour don't quite, they're not quite at your bank loan stage, but they're not quite at your loan shark stage either. They sit more towards the bank loan. And our team members have spent a huge amount of time talking to Neighbour about how that they can help. And 53 of those team members have gone on to apply and be accepted for a neighbour loan, an average of about £6,500 a person. So consolidating that debt and not having to come to work every day worrying about money has meant our team's productivity has lifted. 81 people have applied for Cycle to Work, and we've spent about £16,500 as a business on new bikes, and 132 people have been referred to occupational health, either through long-term sickness or through us just needing to do something to help people because something in their life has happened. And as Rachel already alluded to, we've done a mental health first aider trial, and we're going to look to roll that out, and that is where some of our money will get spent in this space this year. And then last year, we raised £400,000 alone for children in need, and £5 million since we first started, by doing all sorts of fun things across the business, some including our customers, and we sell quite a lot of merchandise and Pudsey ears and things like that. But also we had a company football tournament, we took people on a 50-kilometre hike and bike trial, which you saw the picture of earlier. And our sites do lots of dress-up days, and you see Pudsey out all the time. So if anybody is passing through a welcome break during half term next week, please let me know if you see Pudsey, because you should do. But what was the company really interested in? Well, we managed last year to improve our labour turnover by 8%. You know, we are a hospitality business. Notoriously, our labour turnover is high. But to have such a big improvement has really done us favours this year, and it's been amazing. We've improved our team stability by 9.6%. So when we talk about stability, we talk about our team members that have been with us for a year or more. And so we now have just shy of 70% of our team who have been with us in their unit, in their brand, for 12 months or longer. So our core team stay. And we've reduced our recruitment spend by 75k. Now, I don't have a lot of money to spend in recruitment, and if I told you my budget last year was 250k in recruitment, and I shaved 75k off of it, I can thank everything that we have done through this programme to be able to enable that. So thank you very much for listening to us today. Rachel and I are going to be hanging around for the rest of the afternoon if anybody's got any questions, or we can got a bit of time left if anybody wants to ask any questions now.